Throughout the Owego community will join the local Church of the Nazarene to deliver supplies to Augusta, Georgia to help local hurricane victims. 12 News' Daniel Curran learned what inspired these people to go the extra 800 miles.
The Owego Church of the Nazarene is organizing a supply drive to assist victims of Hurricane Helene in Augusta, Georgia. The church's current pastor, Jared Geisdorfer, and a pastor at an Augusta church, James Jividen, have worked together previously in a church in Pennsylvania. This connection through faith created this fundraiser.
Having connections like this is super important. You know, you can call on your brother to come and help you in your time of need, and we're there to answer. So I think it's super important to have a network of pastors around you that can help lift you up in times of trouble.
The church says 25 individuals have volunteered not only to donate supplies, but drive down with them to Georgia to hand out donations to those in need. They believe this shows a perfect example of the church's mission.
Our church helps Owego, Waverly, Endicott, all of the surrounding areas. So for us to say that you're part of our church family isn't just something that we say, it's something we believe, and we're showing that by helping Pastor James, who's all the way in Georgia.
Officials at the church say they have been moved by this display of dedication from the local community.
Our phone has been ringing off the hook with people that just want to give monetarily and to give donations. And then to find out that there's more than 25 people that are not all connected to our church is even a greater inspiration.
A donation truck is stationed outside the Owego Church of the Nazarene and is accepting donations between 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The truck is scheduled to depart on Monday. Daniel Curran, 12 News, Tioga County.